Welcome back to the anime with the best opening, but the most okayest plot.
We were thinking like when Inferno came out, there was no good openings. And then that came out and totally smashed records.
And yet no one talks about it because no one likes Fire Force despite being like the following series of a hit manga, Soul Eater.
Soul Eater is so good.
Hi, I'm Annie. I watched like the first season of Fire Force and I couldn't stand it.
And I'm Minty. I watched season 2 after not liking season 1, but actually the show's pretty good. It's just, I don't know, maybe the manga's better.
And this is FunUntitled, where we serve every podcast with an FU. And today, underneath my little silver platter is Fire Force. Surprise, surprise.
Not Soul Eater.
No, what's
Not
that
Soul
called?
Eater,
A kibosh?
Oh yeah, something like that.
Oh, we never did a Soul Eater episode, did we?
No, because the anime is not a good representation of the manga, and I haven't finished the manga.
The end of Soul Eater was a dread, but not as much as Fire Force. We won't shit on it the entire time. There's some very little highs in Fire Force, but there was highs. I'm talking about you, Kyoto White.
First of all, not Kyoto. I thought it was. You think it would be? It's not.
I thought you had that whole episode planned with the best arc of every anime is the Kyoto arc.
And because this wasn't taking place in Kyoto, I could never do that episode.
Oh, we just thought it was Kyoto?
Because, okay, what we're talking about is the Asakura arc, and that's like supposed to represent like old-time Japan, and every time you do old-time Japan, it's Kyoto. But I believe Asakura is not a representation of Kyoto. I think it's a representation of Edo.
Bullshit!
Or something else. It's not Kyoto.
So, what is Fire Force real fast for the uninitiated?
So, regardless of what Annie said in the beginning, I actually think Fire Force has a very good plot. I think the anime just kind of smashes its way through just to like, okay, here's a little bit of plot, then into the action. It's like, wait, hold on, I don't even know what the point of this action is. But the very start of the series has a very simple plot where Shinra is a new third generation pyrokinetic, which means that he generates fire. He joins the Special Fire Force Squad 8. Squad 8's whole ordeal is that they investigate the other 7 squads because they think that that the monsters in their world, Infernos, which is basically people who go through spontaneous combustion and become like fire demons or something. They think something is up with that, and they think like maybe the other 7 companies have something to do with it.
Did they explain that in the first 2 seasons? Like why people are spontaneously turning into demons?
Yes.
Is it smart?
Okay, so now you get to the complicated thing of what this show's about, right?
Yeah.
Because
Sorry, I just imagine Shinra. I want to be a hero. It's like you're going to have to investigate traitors and all that shit. It's like, is that what heroes do? Yeah, sure.
kind of. It's not like My Academia. But, you know,
Shinra like looking out the window at Deku like, I want to be like that.
I just want to fight big bad monsters. You are right though. Why isn't Fire Force more like that?
It's so weird because the beginning of every episode is like fire. That's the one thing humans are afraid of, and we suddenly turn into them. And then it's like, oh, never mind. It's gonna be political dramas.
It's because you start off with like the history is that there was a huge calamity. Sure, Ganon. A huge calamity happens. The world goes on fire. Then this like priestly dude is like, we're gonna harness this fire, and then it creates the energy for the whole world, and then you get the modern world.
It should be a lot more steampunk if it's based off fire then.
You know, that would be kind of cool.
If this world had any world building.
There's actually a lot of world building, but no, it's mostly in season 2.
Okay, because I was gonna say bull honky, because like this is a third generation pyrokinetic. What happened to the first and second? We don't care about the first and second. I know we have a hot lady who's the second generation. We don't care about her.
I don't know what a first generation is. I don't even know if at least I don't think in the first 2 seasons they talk about it. I think there's a 4th generation, but I forget what that is.
Third, create fire. Second, they have to manipulate already existing fire. First one, it should be that they are the fire.
It could be, you know. There's actually a plot point with that kind of stuff.
Oh, god damn it.
Because the first hiccup to the plot that you just heard is that there's Infernos and they go to human
That's the opening.
Yes.
Inferno by Green Apple.
Shut up. Oh, wait, it is.
Yes.
Spelled a little differently.
Oh, okay. There's a Z shown in there for to be fancy.
Oh, no. Like Dragon Ball Z. So, they don't know what's going on until they find out that there is a group of people who's using a bug to turn people into these Infernos. So, it's like not really spontaneous combustion anymore, more like there are people trying to kill other people.
You know the case of that lady who's sitting in her chair who got spontaneously combust and they're like, how does this happen? I just imagine her turning into a demon now. It's like, I think it might have been the cigarette. Or it could be that like, terrifying monster outside.
So this is when you get to the white clad, the evangelists, and you
Okay.
find out they're the ones who want to do this.
Was it important for the creator of Soul Eater to throw in a religion is bad allegory into this story?
Well, okay, that's if you think of the white clad as the religion, because the religion part is really more like Iris. And she's the one, saying like, we're gonna put you to rest, we're gonna pray for your soul. I don't think of the evangelists as a religion. Now, they are called evangelists, but I feel like that's more of a Neon Genesis thing where they just use the word because it's cool.
Bum, bum, dun.
Because I'm trying to figure out in my brain how to explain this incredibly complicated story without going arc to arc.
But you like this complicated story.
It makes more sense when you're watching it, okay?
No, in season 1, maybe I didn't give it a chance. Maybe would you have recommended me watching season 2 then if I hated season 1?
The reason season 1 is bad is because, okay, here's the underlying problem of Fire Force. They have really bad characters.
Yeah, say it ain't so.
I feel like they're all annoying except Benny Maru.
Oh, I thought you were going to say my boy Arthur.
No.
Okay.
Arthur's kind of funny, but he's also kind of annoying. Because he's super powerful, but he's limited because he's super stupid, which is a trope that's very annoying. But I will say that Benny Maru is the only thing, or the only character that's good in this series. Now, Tamaki, who is very popular, okay? She is the most annoying. She's like Power in Chainsaw Man. Very popular character, but also the most useless and most annoying thing ever.
You know what? I just look up popularity poll for Fire Force because I was like, guarantee Shinra is like bottom of the list. No, good for him. He's number 1.
Shinra's an okay character. He's an okay protagonist.
Well, that's what I go. Number 2 is Tamaki, the fan service character who literally exists just to show her boobs because does she do more in season 2?
She gets a power up, but I don't know in what way she's gonna use it. But in season 2, it just continues her damsel in distress storyline.
God, it was such a giant meme, the episode where she found out that her captain or whatever betrayed her and
Yes.
Shinra saved her, and so she cried for like a minute straight, and it was like the most over animated part of the episode.
Even watching a second time, it's still long as fuck. And I'm like, I knew this was happening.
Okay, third place is the witch girl. Does she get a bigger role in season 2? Because in season 1, she's just buff.
She's fine for the most part until you get to the backstory arc, and then it's like, well, this is annoying because the whole. Okay, so I don't know if you remember, but in season 1, they talk about how she was in the military.
Yes.
Then you learn in season 2, her whole family's in the military. So that's why she joined the military. But then she moved to the Fire Force because the lieutenant invited her, which makes no fucking sense to me because I'm like, okay, if you have pyrokinetic powers, how do you not just automatically join the Fire Force?
I feel like if you're a second generation Fire Force, pyrokinetic, you should have grenades on that army battlefield.
Or something.
You'd be so useful there. That's kind of like Ochako being like, can I help with my gravity powers? And her parents stupidly said no.
Right, so she's a military fan. So in the second season, the dad's like, I want you to come back home.
Oh, no shit.
And the lieutenant was like, okay. And I was like, why are you saying okay?
Wait, she goes back?
She goes back to the military.
She goes back to war.
And you know what she is? She's a fucking secretary.
Oh my god. Why is she so buff then?
I don't know. I have no idea.
You think her little fire people help her file the checks and stuff?
Oh yeah, I'm sure. It's just like the military owes people money.
Now we don't. We'll fast forward to your boy Benny Maru. 5 is
Bullshit.
Iris somehow. 6 is Arthur. 7 is the weird girl who irritated the shit out of me. The Sakura fire one.
The fifth
The
captain.
5th captain.
Hana something.
8 is our boy captain. 9 is his gay lover. 10 is the witch fire familiar.
Oh
And
my
11 is Shinra's brother.
Okay, Iris is useless. I don't even know the point of having Iris in this goddamn season. I didn't even realize Shinra had a crush on her,
Are
apparently.
you fucking... It was so obvious. It was very Asta and Sister Lily from Black Clover.
I don't know. They had this scene in season 2, and I was just like, wait, he liked her? That's a bit generic.
It kind of also feels like Rin and blonde bitch I hated in Blue Exorcist.
What is that blonde bitch's
Shiemi?
name? Something like that.
It's something like that. God, useless character. Oh, but she becomes useful later. Bullshit.
I don't know. I only know. I know Iris lays a bigger role later because I look up spoilers.
You gotta like be like, is this worth it?
The captain's cool, but he doesn't have powers. So he
I
doesn't
hate
do
that
anything.
trope. I hate the trope. Like, we respect him despite he doesn't have power. No offense. In Haikyuu, I hate the fact that the captain doesn't have a special skill.
It was just, to me, it's like they just make him this Deus Ex Machina where he's like, oh, he's got grit so he can do anything and survive anything. And it's just kind of like, you get to the point where like, give him something. Batman had something.
Yeah, see how far that Daichi, see how far Grit took Daichi when he got shot by Okawa.
Oh, that's who the barrel was pointed to.
I guess he took the bullet for everyone else.
As a dad would.
Is he the dad?
Of like the group, the dad friend.
I thought that was the white hair boy.
No, he's okay. In the anime, they portray him as mom friend. In the manga, he's like the annoying older brother who likes to pick on everyone.
I'm so sorry that we keep going to other series. It's just that I've seen season 1, okay? I know season 1. When Minty was watching it, I'm like, oh yeah, it's that scene. And Minty's like, how did you know that? We watched this like years ago. I understand Fire Force. I don't like what I saw.
It's a good plot, okay?
Why would the three-way war in the first season?
Okay, so in the first season, like I said, it was the whole idea. Okay, so
There's a traitor in the Fire Force.
well, they assume so.
Okay.
Because 8th had to investigate the other 7. So those were the 2. And then you had the White Clad, the Evangelist. So that was number 3. And then you had whatever Joker was doing. And then he's kind of like number 4 at this point. So it's like, okay, so there are 4 people. And then even Joker in season 1, you have no idea what he's doing.
He has a boyfriend.
Okay, and then there's Victor. And then this is the thing I don't get. So they do this whole thing where they fight the 5th company and Hibana, whatever her bitch ass name is.
Who's Hibana?
The captain.
Oh,
The
okay.
one we can't understand. So it's like, I'm a scientist. Okay. Hey, they made this whole big ordeal that the 8th doesn't have a scientist. Oh, Victor, you'll be the scientist? You who came out of nowhere? Okay, you be the scientist. And then it's like, now he's gonna betray the 8th company.
No, my boy, Victor. I was like, hey, good job. Her name was Hibana.
It kind of reminds me of the grill, a hibachi grill. I don't know if it's related.
Hibana pisses me off because you think she's this series Byakuya, the cool cherry blossom powers. And then she's like, I have an annoying crush on Shinra. And I kind of have a relationship with Iris when our nunnery burned down. I'm in the ending veil. Ever heard of it?
She does actually have a very strong relationship with Iris that they exploit a little bit more in season 2, but not a lot more. Okay, I thought Hibana and Shinra were like age difference was totally out of whack, so that's why it felt totally weird to me. But they're only like 5 years apart, so it's not that bad.
I fucking hate powerful women falling for the useless main character.
Yeah, for sure.
That trope just irritates me to no end.
Anyways, back to what I was saying. So there's these 4 sides, right?
Okay, there's 4 sides. Wait, did Victor actually betray them?
No.
Okay, cool.
Because what happens in season 2, what you learn is that the White Clad is still the White Clad.
The KKK.
In a sense, their goal is to awaken like the very first being. I forget what her name is. She has a name.
Lima bean.
Only it was that simple. And so they need to like basically cause a second cladicism.
So is it
Calamity.
The theory is that the traitor in the Fire Force works for the White Clad?
That's the theory. You know what you end up learning? There's nothing wrong with the company, which actually I'm okay with.
What the fuck do you mean there's no traitor?
So like they think like they made it in season 1, like Leo Burns, the first captain, the one with the white hair and the eye patch. And, oh, he knows something. He's clearly evil. He's not evil. He just knows more than what he lets on. And it's like, well, yeah, he's not gonna tell another company what he knows because he's met the Adolla. I think that's what the being is called.
It's so funny watching you watch Fire Force. Could you hear the same terms over and over? Adolla Force. It's the Adolla Burst. Sorry, Adolla Burst. The pillars. Shinra.
But that's why the anime just kind of bulldozes through the plot. So I'm like, wait a second, hold on, I have questions, and we have moved on. Because, so basically, almost like the whole Fire Force company, I don't know, I guess they're all on the same side now.
Yay.
It's just that they have like different means of going about it, but in all actuality, they actually all have the same goal.
That's how Bleach should have ended after the Soul Society arc.
No.
We should have found that we're all on the same side.
Aizen was a good enemy. And then you find out Victor's thing, and it's basically the Fire Force has basically, if you remember in Naruto, they had a shadow organization.
Is that Donzo?
Yes.
Okay.
So Fire Force has something like that too, and Joker was part of that.
Oh.
But then Joker bailed. So basically, Joker is just basically a vigilante who wants to stop the White Clad. So that's why Victor doesn't betray them, because they're technically on the same side.
Do we ship Joker and Victor?
No, the whole thing is just that Victor's a nerd who wants to learn more and thinks that the Fire Force is limiting him. And Joker's like, well, I'll help you get over the limit. You gotta do shit for me.
Bullshit, that's the number 1 way in Haikyuu to have a couple.
Okay, but you almost never see them together.
Ah, damn it.
Because basically he recruited him and sent him off to war. So they
Just like the lieutenant.
They almost never talk to each other.
Here's what I don't understand. Soul Eater had such an amazing cast of characters. How did the creator fumble this hard with Fire Force?
See, I don't know because there's the 8th company. You think it's about the 8th company, but the 8th company is only in like a third of the stories. So it's like the lieutenant and Maki and Iris and Tamaki and Obi. I like Vulcan and Arthur, but you know.
Who's Vulcan?
Vulcan is the redhead dude in the first season.
Oh, why was he not the scientist?
He's technically not part of Fire Force. He's just part of their brigade.
What bullshit is that?
And also, he's not a scientist in that way. He's an inventor.
Alright.
So all these characters, but overall suck, except Benny Maru. Benny Maru is one of the best characters they could have created because he's a 2nd and 3rd generation. He lives his own company. He does his own thing.
He's 2nd and 3rd?
He's a 2nd and 3rd, so he can manipulate and generate his own fires.
Oh, okay.
That's part of the reason why he's so powerful. There's an interesting backstory where he's a pro-nationalist, which I think means that he wasn't in support of the whole, like, the company and the government and stuff. They kind of just wanted to go, like, the old ways, but they had to join because they couldn't fight Infernos by themselves.
Just like Kojia.
Not like Kojia.
Oh, that was Suzaku was part of? The pro-nationalist?
No, Suzaku was part of the army, and Lelouch was just an asshole.
I could have sworn there was a black-haired general that we always cut through and he was a pro-nationalist, but I digress.
The Asian one?
Yeah, I am very Asian.
No, that was just a third party who had no role except to be in love with a little girl.
Are we gonna make a remake? Are we gonna watch the remake?
Of course we're gonna watch the remake. Because Code Geass is good 50% of the time.
I meant sequel. Yeah, okay. Okay, I have a question. Why you say the characters are bad? Are the bad guys good?
I actually do like the bad guys. So the Evangelist is just... Okay, Evangelist, imagine, they have the quirky Soul Eater characters.
God damn it.
Who are just like... But they're fun and evil. And they have a lot of different personalities. So they don't meld well together, and it's a little like poetry, so it's not like super fun, but you know what I mean? But they're quirky, and it's just like you like to watch them. There's a girl, her name is Haumea. She's the 2nd pillar. Okay, so back to the plot a little bit. They were able to summon the entity that they want to bring. They need 8 pillars, and Haumea is the 2nd one. I want to say Sho is the 3rd one. Shinra's the 4th one. There's pink bitch ass girls, the 5th one. There's 2 random nuns who are 6 and 7, and I believe Iris is the 8th one.
What's the...
Oh, wait. Little bitch ass kid who's like one of the pillars as well, and he has a very interesting arc.
How do you choose the pillars?
Honestly, no idea.
I'm like, how did Sho become a pillar before Shinra?
Okay, because it could be that you're born as a pillar, but you don't know that you're a pillar until something happens. So that's why that redhead star kid who tricked Tamaki and made, bugs, he was giving kids bugs to figure out who was a pillar.
Can I say real fast? I know he's a bad guy. Kind of hot. Anyone think that? Kind of hot?
Kind of insane?
What? Yeah, that's what made him hot.
Murdering children?
Well, technically, Tamaki helped.
Redhead, murdering children, manipulating women. That's what Annie finds hot.
Oh, God, you just described Gwill from Black Butler.
Jack the Ripper?
Yeah.
Okay. I guess so. Yeah. Did he manipulate her? Madam
No. He was just she was killed. Okay, spoilers for Black Butler. You didn't ask for this.
Spoilers for the first major arc of Black Butler. If you don't know the first major arc of Black Butler.
Madam Red, she was the doctor first, like, cutting out those babies out of those hookers, and then Gwill was like, that's so awesome. As a trans woman myself, I feel like I gotta do some women solidarity, so I'll help you kill more hookers.
Hey, what can we say? The lesser dead was a thing back then, and it kind of is now, which is fucked up. Google the term if you don't know what it means.
I was gonna ask you.
No, really sad.
So, we'll cut that out. But yeah, go on with the pillars. Me asking you, the bad guy's good? I gotta explain about the pillars.
Well, because the pillars are very interesting, and the 1st and 5th pillars and the 3rd pillar are part of the Evangelist.
Do we have to sacrifice them?
I assume so. I actually don't know.
It's like FMA.
I don't know if it's that situation.
Okay.
And I don't know if the 8 will die in the end.
Well, technically, the 8 didn't die in FMA. The 5 people who saw the truth.
Right. So that's why I'm like, I don't know if they die. I don't know if they just
chill.
Yeah, basically. This is the one thing that got steamrolled was when I was watching the series and Shinra kept saying he was the 4th pillar, and I was like, Hamea's is another one, Sho is another one. Who the fuck is the 1st pillar? So I had to Google it and being like, oh, okay, the entity is the 1st pillar. But then and later on, he's like, who's the 1st pillar? It's like, how did you know you were the 4th pillar if you couldn't count who the other 3 were?
Who's Hamea?
Haumea, if you remember in season 1, she's the one who was blonde, had a crown over her eyes, and had powers of electricity.
Oh, how does 5 create electricity?
Plasma.
Oh, God.
Because so Arthur has plasma powers, and she had electricity, and electricity is basically plasma. And somehow plasma is related to fire, according to the last Airbender. Commander. Unless you were Zuko, then you couldn't control fire, but you could control the electricity that your body made, which they never explained very properly because it's an incredibly difficult concept to understand when learning biology.
Alright, anyways, bad guys. Okay.
Look, that is very good. It's a little complicated. Characters suck, but the enemies are fun, but they're not like the best enemies.
In Sakamoto days, if you remember, Fleur had a bunch of like rascals underneath his control.
Oh yeah.
Who had better rascals? Fire Force or Sakamoto days?
Are you talking about the current rascals?
The museum arc one.
Okay. Sakamoto days is a little early to gauge because I like villains who are there throughout the whole series. I don't like villains that are just there for an arc. You know what I mean? So I don't know if they're gonna continue being on with Sakamoto days. At least Fire Force, we've seen Haumea, and because every pillar has a guardian.
Oh, who's Shinra's?
Shinra doesn't have one because he's not part of the evangelist.
Oh, okay. I just thought like naturally just have one.
No, so if you remember an Arrow Lady in
Yeah.
the first one, she is Sho's guardian.
Oh.
There's this really cool scene where one of the pillars was gonna self-destruct and it was gonna destroy the world. So Haumea's guardian was like, I'm gonna deflect this beam because this beam would kill Shinra, and I'm still a pillar guardian.
Oh.
That was a pretty cool fucking scene. And he did it. And I was like, that's so... You're an idiot of a character, but that scene was super cool. And then that little kid has a guardian, but they have a really fucked up relationship. I also think it's kind of cool.
I want to hear it.
Okay, basically, the little kid has parents who are very strict and want him to excel at everything. And when he doesn't excel, he gets yelled at. You know that story, right? So he puts a lot of pressure on himself. So when he finds out he's like a pillar, he wants to like be super good at it, but he can't, and he doesn't know how to. And what Shinra found out he was a pillar and was able to do cool pillar stuff because he got into fighting, right? Because he's a Fire Force man. So the little kid has to constantly fight this sadist who likes fighting people who are weaker than him, especially children. So at the end of this arc, the pillar kid is like, how do I get better? The man tells him, don't get better. I like you weak and frail. And the kid's like, well, now I'm not stressed anymore because I finally found someone who doesn't want me to be better. And I can just be a kid. You asked. I was gonna keep it vague, but you asked me for the details.
What? I want to go back to Soul Eater.
This is Soul Eater. This is a huge arc in Soul Eater.
No, this is a prequel to Soul Eater.
The prequel is, oh, you're right. You stupid bitch. Let him slap you for questioning me. Anyway, maybe one day we'll go arc by arc if Annie ever watches season 2.
You were sitting here kissing yourself being like, oh no, there's 14 arcs. However will I recall them all?
I decided not to. Also, one of the arcs is literally one episode.
It was a flashback arc too.
Yeah, which is stupid.
Tell me about the red hair man real fast before we end this episode.
Which red? Vulcan?
Yeah.
So Vulcan doesn't like the Fire Force, and he's kind of like a little pronatious because supposedly his family created Amaterasu. Amaterasu is the like machine that harnessed the catalysm's fire and is allowing everyone to work, but they never gave Vulcan's family the credit. So Vulcan's goal, and who loves animals, but animals are extinct in this world, so he has to create robots.
I like to imagine that the calamity happened and like when they didn't have Noah's Ark, so all the animals burnt to like, what did they eat?
I don't know. People? Infernos?
Didn't they have parties?
They do. I've never looked at what they ate.
You know what? Japan's not really big meat eaters, that's why. So unless they went to like a yakiniku.
That is true, yeah.
Because after Kurasuno's first loss, they went to a Korean barbecue, right?
Probably, maybe. I don't know. But okay, wait. But we get to the interesting part, right? That's the history. But in season 2, they go to China, not Squad 8. Shinra, Arthur, and a bunch of random people. Why couldn't it be Squad 8? I don't know. Anyway, they go to China, they find another Amaterasu that's not working. And so it makes you think like, wait, why is there a second one? There's only supposed to be one.
And they find out Vulcan's Chinese.
They don't find out Vulcan's Chinese. It would make sense. But what they find out is that there's or at least in that one in China, there used to be a person there.
Oh.
Who was being burned to fuel it. So that obviously leads to the conclusion that there must be a person in the one in Japan. But does that mean Vulcan's family made the Amaterasu? I don't know. No one. I didn't explore that part yet.
This is worse than the time I saw Cardcaptor Sakura go to Hong Kong.
That movie was okay.
Well, that's why this is worse. I'm so sorry. Before we end, I do have to ask. I don't know anything about the pink hair bitch.
Okay, the pink hair bitch, she's the fifth pillar. It's a kind of an interesting arc because so they find out she's a pillar, and what her powers is that she can see when a fire is gonna happen. So a lot of times she would go to where a fire was gonna happen and tell the people, I can save you, but you gotta pay me. And then they'd be like, what? And then the fire would happen. And they'd be like, oh no. And so they have to pay her to get saved. But when she joins the white class, she can actually, instead of waiting for the fire to happen, she can just make it happen. And she's just this fucked up girl who lived in a village, or like a town. The town caught on fire, almost everyone died, and she is trying to find that rush of surviving a big fire.
Jesus. Because, spoiler. This is like manga spoilers. I know she's supposed to kind of be like the origin of all witches in Soul Eater.
Okay. So the spoiler that I know is that somehow Shinra recreates the world, like JoJo style.
JoJo.
That's why, what fucked up things happen. Because there's a Medusa in this story. There's a side character who dies. And there's a lot of imagery to Soul Eater. And you know what? So Maka's dad was in a scene.
Oh, good for him.
They went to like this brothel house and he was crying to the women there. And I was like, wait, I thought they recreate the world.
JoJo style, of course.
JoJo style, so I don't know.
And that is Fire Force. We'll see you next time. Well, maybe we cover the likes and maybe we blow ourselves up.
When we talk about how much we hate Tamaki.
Yeah. Fucker.